All right, John Stossel, author of Myths, Lies, and Downright Stupidity, and Dave Sirota, author of Hostile Takeover. We're going to look at the minimum wage. According to Mr. Stossel, the myth is a higher minimum wage helps workers. The truth is a higher minimum wage helps some workers but hurts others. John, your thought.
We all want to raise people's wages, but assuming the government can just set the wage is better than supply and demand is such nonsense. It assumes every employer has a fixed number of workers. But we don't have people washing windshields in gas stations anymore because the minimum wage makes it foolish to hire a kid, to give an entry-level worker a shot.
This thing's back in Congress. A lot of states are either passing it or discussing it. How many people get the minimum wage across the country? This is a data from your own book.
3%.
Bingo. Dave Sirota, 3%, and it hurts some people? What's your take?
Well, listen, John, I would encourage you to stop reciting these dishonest talking points and the chatter you're hearing on the cocktail party circuit, because the stats don't bear that out in any way at all. And here are the stats that you cannot dispute. In states that have raised the minimum wage above the federal level, those states have created jobs at a far faster rate than the states that have not. That is because when you raise the minimum wage, you put money into the pockets of people who will spend it, and it spurs the economy. Now, that might not be heard in your book, which purports to debunk lies, but those are the facts.
Well, if those are the facts, why stop at $7? We should pay everybody $20, $40 an hour, and then we'll really have
You're changing the
power.
subject.
It's just,
you're changing the subject because you know you're wrong.
Site, and I now realize who you are because you, on my Amazon page, he came on and said I'm a smarmy-looking liar. But that one study was from Robert Rice, and it's been widely discredited by every serious economist who's looked at this.
Just look at the states. That's not a study. If you look at the states that have raised their minimum wage higher than the federal level have created jobs faster than the states that haven't. That's a fact. That's not a study. That's a fact.
John Stossel, what about the argument? All right, this plays to your point of view. I'll let David rebut it. The argument by most economists, I just saw it on Greg Mankiw's website, Mankiw, a Harvard professor, worked in the government, is that, okay, you can raise the wage for those who are going to be involved, but you are going to price out the lower skilled workers who will try to get to the low end of the economic ladder, and or businesses are going to have to pay through the nose and be less profitable. Is that your basic point?
Yes, they won't give the kid an opportunity. Why let the kid work on a construction job and learn the job if you have to pay him this minimum wage? You're going to hire a more skilled worker.
David, I often wonder, there's such a small percentage of workers who are eligible for this thing. Why do you reckon it is such a small percentage if the results are so positive?
Well, because I think that people don't want to work for those kinds of low wages. Minimum wage is at a 50-year low, so there's a higher demand. But let me go back to your point here. The idea that low-wage workers are going to lose out on jobs. Let's just look at a case study, huh? Let's look at Oregon in 1998 that raised their minimum wage. What happened to their welfare recipients, those at the bottom end of the ladder? Their wages went up, and their job opportunities actually increased.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you, David Sirota. John Stossel, how's the book selling?
It's on the bestseller list.
Whoa. Whoa. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks
for spending an hour with us. Really, really appreciate it. Up next, my last word on lessons I learned from my own dad. Please stay with us.